Peace everyone, it's Black High Priestess. How's everyone doing? Oh, I'm actually kind of visible. I guess I need to use this angle more often at night. Oh, actually, let me get my blanket. I always put my blanket on the heater so it's nice and toasty. Gotta keep this on. So, all right, how's everyone? I just wanted to talk about my shed aquarium experience. I'm just kind of winding down. I actually haven't even eaten today, but you know, when you live with spirits and things like that, you know, your appetite isn't always according to consumables. Sometimes it's more about your energy and things like that. So I also think that I kind of went all day without eating because I had some coffee. I had a cappuccino this morning. It was a medium, and cappuccinos keep me going for a while. And you know, I was just also, you know, just purging some energy as well. So I'm gonna, you know, have some tobacco because tobacco does deal with purification. And you know, just talk about some things that I experienced today. I wanted to get out and, you know, just kind of get my mind off of, you know, some disappointments. And I guess I can start with my decision to go to the shed aquarium on a free day. I had some other things that I could do today, but I decided that that was a little more important because, you know, it also has to do with, you know, health and serenity and having peace of mind. And it would have been nice to have a date. It would have been nice to, you know, have company, but I didn't really seek that out. I just went, and I was disappointed because I came to a realization today that, you know, talking to someone, and I'm really getting hesitant to call a lot of black people brothers and sisters because I'm not really seeing the familiarity, which is, you know, family is the root word of familiarity, and I'm not seeing any familiar energies and spirits. You know, I'm really just seeing, you know, Americans with tans. I'm not feeling black energy, especially from the men. And it's really hard being a black woman because black men are like, especially if you're a black high priestess and you have the combination of unique qualities I have for being a black woman in America. The only option at this point that I feel I have is to move to Africa. And it's not about finding a black man. I'm not partial to black men because black men have always been a huge disappointment to me. And it's not that white men haven't been a disappointment as well, but black men are far more underdeveloped than the white or the Caucasian male in America in terms of my personal experiences. And, you know, just making a long story short, I realized that I would rather date a man or you know, be with a man who maybe doesn't have that much education or, you know, refers to women as bitches and hoes and sluts and whores, but understands the definition of, you know, what a woman who fits that description is, of a woman whose morals and sexuality and things is you know, in that way, or you know, a woman who uses her body for money, or, you know, a woman who uses men for money or manipulates, or a woman who seeks out married men or seeks to be a homewrecker. I would rather date a man who uses those words and as they apply than to date a man who feels like all black women are queens and empresses and says Hotep queen and peace queen and all that, yet deep down, even though he calls women queens and goddesses, he still believes all females are objects to be used and disposed of. Meaning he calls women, black women, queens and goddesses, but he treats all black women like hoes, bitches, sluts, whores, and toys. I would rather date a man who comes from a culture where he's used to referring to his woman as a bad bitch or a down ass bitch, and he treats her like a queen and treats her like a goddess and treats her like an empress, than to date a man who goes around claiming that black women are this and black women are that, and this is my goddess and this is my empress, but he treats me like a hoe. He treats me like I'm a slut. He treats me like I'm a whore. He treats me like I'm a sex toy. I would rather date a man whose actions are what I'm looking for than whose vocabulary is socially acceptable. So having said that, my experience at the shed was very much, I did run into a coworker. So, I every time I go out, especially in the downtown area, I see at least like one person I know. That's just how Chicago is. You could be visiting Chicago from Switzerland, or Zimbabwe, and you will run into somebody that you know. Chicago's just one of those networks. It's just one of those centers of activity. It's just one of those meeting places and marketplaces, but so, I was alone for the most part, and I, tried to connect to the animals as much as I could, but it was just so many obese Americans with their children, and just so many kids hollering and screaming, and, and so many frustrated, overweight mothers who were just, frustrated with these screaming kids that, weren't fit to be out in public, like most American children, it seems aren't. And, these, lazy looking, I don't want to judge, but, just complacent looking men or husbands or whatever, who the women are like trying to deal with the kids and then trying to make sure that her husband doesn't look at a beautiful single model. Because I don't know what's wrong with America, but people have become extremely unattractive, extremely obese, and I just don't fit in here anymore. I just don't fit in. It's just like, where are the God and goddess body individuals? Like, what is going on? Where the energy, I was just really, I had to put up with a bunch of just filthy American energy, and it was just like being in a pigsty at one point. And so I tried to connect with the animals as much as possible, but every time I would create an energy, here comes all the recessive Americans. Here comes all the recessive genetic Americans just, trying to just, and half of them couldn't even find out where the creatures were. They're looking and, just really dumb, obese, conformist Americans, who were just around and just consuming, and just, it's just unfortunate, what the world has become, what my world has become. And like I said, I really, this year is about me taking some genuine steps towards moving to a better place, because my experience was really, it was refreshing. I connected to one catfish in particular. I was really connected to the river animals. There was a lot of exotic and tropical ones, and from all over, from South Asia and Congo and the Caribbean, just a lot of wonderful things. And then the coral reef, I think I like the best, where it's darker, because I'm a coral reef mermaid. And it was nice, but the animals I connected with, the fish that I connected with the most were the river ones, and that's definitely speaking to that Oshun spirit of the river, dealing with that fresh water energy. And they really, you know, we were really vibrating, and I started singing to them. I started humming, and there was this one catfish that was kind of in the corner. I could see he was trying to hide from the energy, he or she. I kind of got a, you know, slightly more masculine energy maybe, but it was definitely in hiding, so I don't want to attribute any gender. But I just stayed in the corner with it and kind of guarded it, because I saw it was almost like sensitive to all these filthy people with their filthy energies just coming around. And I'm not saying that everyone there was. I'm just saying that the overwhelming amount of filthy auras that just, you know, consume American trash, from the food to the music to the entertainment, even to the air we breathe at this point. If you live in a major city, and there's, you know, there's chemtrails all the time in a lot of places. So it was just really seeing people just carrying around parasitic energy. And I was kind of protecting this catfish. She was humongous too. And we really spoke, and I was looking deep into its eyes, and its eyes looked like a solar eclipse. And I was just looking into the black moon and the black hole sun, because its eyes looked like the black hole sun. And so I was just going into that and speaking, you know, to them. And you know, they started to come around the corner, some of the other fish. But that was probably the most you know, serene and peaceful that I felt, just deciding to connect to that fish and just kind of ignoring, you know, others. But I would like to go on a more exclusive day. They do have like exclusive days and you know, events and things where you can get tickets, and I think I would definitely do better going where there's not so many, you know, snot-nosed children crying and you know, just so many easily intimidated women just trying to get in your way just because they don't like the fact that you exist, because they're so used to seeing their hideousness, their parasitic energy, you know, and you know, just being around people just getting in your way all the time, and you know, having no respect and you know, for each other, for the animals, for anything, you know. It's just every time I go out, I'm constantly reminded that you're Native American and your land was taken over, and black people don't really, I'm not gonna say black people don't like you, but I get treated the same way by my people, because I don't have the stereotypical African features and character. But just seeing how disgusting the privileged class is and has become, it makes me still say, you know, you are here to speak up, because your people aren't you're here to do what your people aren't doing for themselves. You can call that cocky or egotistical or whatever, but I do bring something truly unique to the revolution, let alone to this world, to the revolution. And it's very hard to determine where to put that energy, just to invest it in myself or to continue to fight for the nature and humanity and what has happened to my people, especially black women. or to just kind of, it's a new year. I'm almost out of my Saturn return, there's an energy shift. Maybe I just need to follow a different path altogether. I don't know. It's just difficult being around humans. Humans are parasites. The evolution of humanity has taken away the humanity and the humane nature from whatever these things are, and they're just clones and parasites and just flesh and blood vessels walking around consuming everything natural and turning it into shit. That's what humans do after all, isn't it? You eat and you shit. You have babies that eat and shit, and you continue the cycle until Mother Earth is nothing but a pile of shit. But the original humans, the aboriginal, made in the image of the god and goddess, lived in perfect harmony with this planet that will soon, hopefully, flush the toilet. That's all I gotta say for now.